everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie, Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
So it's that time again. It's time for us to do our 1-minute book recs where we go over all the books that we read this past week with 1-minute synopsises of each book. Unfortunately, poor Mandy doesn't feel good. So we're going to try to get through this without her getting too sick on us. She just got a head cold. Anyhow, she needs to go to the doctor. Anyhow, that's my aggressively bossy personality. Okay, so Mandy, before we get started, they need to hit that subscribe button. Why do they need to hit the subscribe?
Yes, because we are giving away 9 Minutes by Beth Flynn. I can't get it in the picture with the, there we go. Mm-hmm. And it is a fantastic read. You definitely want to win this. When we reach 750, we'll be giving that away. So hit that subscribe button, follow us on Instagram for an extra entry. And then also you're going to want to stick around because from 750 to 1,000 on that road to 1K, we are going to be giving away more books.
Yes. And we know who you, well, we don't know who you are, but we see you. Just hit the subscribe button. You'll be happy. So Mandy.
Yes.
Tell me about your reading week.
Okay, I read 8 books. I had no 5-star reads. I had 4s and 3s.
That's sad.
I know.
11
How was
books.
your week?
I read 11. I had a 2-star read and a very questionable, I'm not really sure what to give it read. And then I had I think I had 2 5-star reads. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was all right. So there was a lot of Christmas novellas.
Oh.
I think there are several. So okay. So I'll get us started. Do you have the timer ready?
I do.
Perfect. I don't have my book open though. There we go. Okay. So my first read for this week is Irish by Brittany Nicole. I picked this book up when we were in Vegas. I was really excited to read this one. So this is about Frank and Ellie, or Eleanor, calls her Ellie. They are friends when they're young, and then they get separated as they get older. Things happen. She is in the Italian Mafia. He is in the Irish Mafia. And she is given to the head of the Italian Mafia, and she marries him. Not necessarily willingly, but that's just how things happen. And he is abusive and very cruel to her. So one day she gets a call saying that she inherited this cabin on an island off the coast of Maine. And so she and her sister and her 2 little boys flee in the night, and they go to this cabin. When she gets there, she gets in the house and realizes that Irish, or Frank, they call him Irish on the island, is there. She's believed him to be dead for 10 years, and she is shocked. She is also a female unaliver. So there's that. So this being a Mafia book is it's not very heavy on the Mafia. You get the Mafia elements. This is very relationship heavy. This is their relationship. She has a lot of trauma. He has the reasons why she believes he was dead. There's the serial, part of it. So, yeah. So I gave it 5 stars. I really, really liked it.
Okay, so my next read, or I guess my first read, is called Beautiful Sinner by Sarah Kate. This is about Cadence and Callum. Cadence we meet in Beautiful Monster. And if you remember her from Beautiful Monster, she's changed a little bit, and you don't hate her quite as much in this book as you do in Beautiful Monster. So Cadence is on like a self-discovery fun trip in Europe, and she meets this guy, and because she's Cadence, she falls madly in love, and it turns out he dupes her, and she ends up stranded. And this is where she meets Father Callum. And from there, she ends up staying in Europe and working at a hotel, and she has a lot of dealings with Father Callum on like the daily basis. I don't want to give too much away for this story, but he is a Catholic priest. He is Father Callum, and she is falling for him, and maybe he's falling for her too.
Awesome. Okay, so are you ready for my next one?
Yes.
Okay. So I read a little Christmas novella. This is The Package by Kay Bromberg. This was short and sweet. It was just really short. I want to say Teddy Hamilton narrated it. I could be wrong. Anyhow, this is about Jules. She's having a really bad day. It's a couple days before Christmas, and she gets rear-ended on the way to work. Then she slips and falls, and she's been dumped by her boyfriend. And so she gets to work, and she loses her job because of those circumstances. Like, she gets fired for stupid reasons. And so she is finishing up her day for the day there. They told her she could get paid if she finishes her day. She gets into the elevator with a whole bunch of packages, and the elevator breaks down with a hottie next to her. And so things go from there. Very short, very cute, very sweet. Absolutely no spice. There was a kiss in this book, but it was very quick and it was worth it. I give it 4 stars for what it was. It was great.
I've read that one. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was cute.
All right. So my next read is called The Secret Baby by Letty Harper. And this was a 3-star read for me. I liked it, but it just didn't have that wow factor for me. In fact, in times I got a little bored. This is about Kelsey. She is the maid of honor, and her best friend just found out she's pregnant, so she's not attending the bachelorette party. She doesn't want anybody to know that she's pregnant, though, so this is like all in the down low. So Kelsey wears the bride-to-be sash and is living it up, and Aaron shows up as the stripper, the doctor stripper, but turns out he's not really a stripper. He's just doing a favor to a friend, and he's actually a doctor. Well, they have a hookup, and that's where the secret baby comes in, but their lives are intertwined because of different things that unfold in the story. So the part that I don't care for secret baby, as we all know, and this one just didn't really work for me because she was in communication with him and she just kept wanting to see like how things would play out between the two of them instead of just telling him. And it bothered me that she just didn't tell him the truth. And I really have an issue with women doing that. And I think that's why this bugs me so much. And I know it's a romance book, I know it's fiction, but it just bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I know the book name was called Secret Baby, but her reasons were just not valid for me.
They need to be valid. They really do.
Okay. Next.
Yeah. Okay, so next I read, whoa, that got big. I read a Zoe Draven book. This is the second book in her Kylor series. So this is Craving in the Blood, or In His Blood. So we're back on the planet where the guys are kind of like vampires. But this one has Millie and Kythel, and Millie is a human, and her adoptive father was a chef, and they traveled all over the galaxy, and she learned all of his trade secrets. But her father has passed away, and he's passed away on a different planet. And so she is trying to save enough money to get him back to where she's at so that she can lay him to rest. And so to do that, she's working at this Diane place, basically where these aliens come to drink blood. She's there. She meets Kythel. He is the twin brother to the guy from the first book, and he is a ruler over this world, and he can tell something's different about her. She smells different. Her blood smells different, and so he asks her to be his blood giver for a few times. And the woman who's running the blood bank brothel place is like, no, don't do it, and doesn't allow her to do it. There's reasons behind it. It was good. I give it 4 stars. I like the first one better, I think. Just saying. But this was more like the first one, he just took her. It was a forced marriage. So we all know why Jessica liked the first one more than this one. This one has actual romance.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, my next read is called Come With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This is the prequel to the Sugarland, is it Sugarland Creek series?
I think so.
That we read for our buddy read this month. And you can go back in and watch that live show, but it does have spoilers, just an FYI. So this is about Aiden, who turns 18 and he flees from his home. His dad is the mayor, and he's the, perfect in public and just very, very abusive behind the scenes and manipulative. So Aiden flees. He begs his girlfriend Lainey to come with him. He knows that she's like his end game. He loves her, but she doesn't want to leave her mom and her home and all of that stuff. So she won't go with him. And he leaves and he cuts all ties with everyone in that town. And he ends up at Sugarland Ranch. And that is where we kind of get introduced to all those characters that are going to be in that story. Well, after he leaves, Lainey finds out she's pregnant. But she has no way to contact him because he left and didn't leave anything behind, never calls, nothing. And she keeps thinking, like, he's going to show back up. He's going to call. He's going to show back up. And he never does. And so then this is 10 years later when she finally finds him.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
That was good.
Good. Okay. Because I didn't read the prequel. So, yeah.
You do not have to read the prequel.
No, because I was fine with the book. So the next book that I read was called Obsession. This is by Cassie Hargrove and Story Brooks. This is the first book in their Deadly Seven series. I had high hopes for this. I should not have. So this is about our heroine. She is on the run with her father. Her mother was a horrible mom and had actually given up custody of her when she was young, but she still got into trouble with the cartel or people or bad people, and she sold her daughter to them. And so our heroine, being the one that was sold, her and her father have been fleeing for her life, trying to stay away from these guys. So then they're put into a witness protection program and they're sent to a small town. When she gets to the small town, the guy that's the cop that's supposed to be watching over her has 6 brothers, which they're all like been in foster care and stuff. So they're not tech blood brothers, not all of them. And they're all representative of the 7 deadly sins. And this is a reverse harem. And I'm sorry. No, it didn't work. It felt like I give it 2 stars. I felt like I was reading a Wattpad story. I liked the idea of it, but no. It fell short. So short. And there's like 7 books in the series. So no. Wow. 7 guys is too many in a harem. I can't keep them all straight. Okay. Your turn.
Next. All right. Okay. My next book was actually an Audible original listen that I did by Emily March. It's the Christmas Paw, like dog, podcast. It's Mary and Nick. Now, I enjoy listening to some of these Christmas, like shorter stories while I'm doing things, and I am a decorate before Thanksgiving for Christmas. So that's what I was doing with this one. It was a 4-star listen for what it is. And it's about Nick, who has his true crime podcast. He's really feeling bummed this Christmas because his son is with his mom. And they're divorced, and so he doesn't get to spend Christmas with his son, and so he's pretty bummed about that. Mary is trying to get to her family's house, and she has a pregnant foster dog with her when she gets caught in, the typical snowstorm blizzard, and she makes her way to Nick's cabin, and that's how they meet, and that is how things progress from there. She's lucky that Catherine Cowles was not writing that book because going to Nick's cabin would probably not have been a good idea. But here she has no qualms with hanging out with this guy for several days.
Yeah. Definitely lucky she wasn't in a Catherine Cowles book.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I read a Christmas novella next. I actually liked this one quite a bit. So this is called Christmas Obsession, and this is by Darcy Rose. You can see it's little. It's just a novella. So this is about Vincent and Faith. So Vincent, this is an age gap as well, and he is a hitman for the Mafia. So he is living in this house next door to Faith, and he's been watching her for months. So this house is kind of like a safe house for the Mafia. And he has kind of become a little stalkerish obsessed with Faith. Faith lives alone with her mom, or just her and her mom live together. Her mom is quite the person, always out at the bars and bringing different guys home and that kind of a thing. And so one day it's Christmas Eve and Faith is home, just kind of chillaxing. And her mom was like, hurry up, get ready. I told Vincent to come over for cookies. You need to go, that I was making cookies. So go make the cookies. And so she does as her mom says. She goes and makes the cookies, and her mom takes all the credit for it. But Vincent is like, the mom's trying to get into Vincent's pants, but he's obsessed with the daughter. So I like this one a lot. It takes place over Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. So yay.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 stars.
Okay. Well, we were both in the Christmas spirit because my next book is Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth. So this is about Nick, and I just love how Christmas books always have like Nick and Mary or Noel. Anyway, so this is Nick, and Nick's grown son, Connor, and Nick was 18 when Connor was born, so just throwing that out there, goes on a Tinder date with Shay. She's an older woman compared to him, and she has 2 little kids. It does not work out, but they become really good friends. And so when Thanksgiving rolls around, Connor invites Shay and her 2 little girls to his dad, Nick's tree farm and ranch where he lives for Thanksgiving. And that is how Shay and Nick meet. And from there, Shay is really difficult, but Nick sticks it out and he keeps trying to make things easier for her and to make her and the girl's life better. I enjoyed the fun elf things that they do with Elf on the Shelf, and I just really loved how Nick, no matter how difficult Shay was, Nick never gave up on trying to break down her walls, I guess you could say.
You're Elf on the Shelf. Do you do that?
Yes.
Does your elf actually move at night? Because
when he remembers.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not the only one. My kids are old enough now that they know. But when they were little, oh my gosh, that was a pain in the butt. Okay, so I moved on from Christmas. I went back to Aliens. We talked about this book last week, so I felt the need to do a reread, and I was concentrating on other stuff. So, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did a reread of The Captive of the Horde King. I've talked about this a few times. Just going to give a sweet little 1 minute. Here it is. Okay, so this is about Luna. She lives on the planet of Dakar. She's a human. They have these Dakari hordes that live like primitive, like they just live in hordes and they move around. And on the planet, her brother one day sets fire to their crops to try to get the crops to be more plentiful and to come back, thicker, to enrich the soil. It doesn't work. You're not supposed to do that on Dakar because they believe their goddess lives in the land. And so this Dakari horde shows up at her village one night and wants to know who set fire to the land. And so instead of turning her brother in, she takes the blame for her brother, and then she becomes his captive. The Horde King decides to take her to be what she believes is the concubine, but she quickly finds out that no, he takes her to be his queen. And so this is very primitive dude living in a tent, hot, it's a little, it reminds me of a little Game of Thrones. Just saying, Dothraki dudes. So love that one. Always have. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Next. Okay. So my next book is called Nick and Noel's Christmas Playlist by Cody Hall. And this one just fell short for me. I usually enjoy these. I listened to this one and I just found myself really bored and ready for it to be over. So Nick just got out of the army and he comes home and finds out his girlfriend has been cheating on him. And Noelle has been his best friend for many years. And so they kind of get thrown together to put on a Christmas show that Noelle is very hesitant to do because of some meaning for her with it. And there's a ton of drama with Nick's ex-girlfriend, and it just got boring. I just didn't care. So maybe it really wasn't even a 3-star as I'm talking about it. But I mean, it wasn't horrible. I just didn't care. I was just ready for it to be over. But if you've read it or listened to it and you've enjoyed it, let me know. What did I miss on it? Maybe there was something I missed.
Maybe. I hate when I get bored in a book. I want to be entertained.
Yeah.
So my next read was entertaining, but it scared the bejesus out of me. I'm just saying. By like it was just weird. So this is the one I'm not sure what to give it. I have it down as 3 stars right now, but I keep thinking about it. But like I don't know. Okay, so this is set in Asylum, and this is by Kinsley Kincaid. This is taboo. This is dark. This is about the Ashford twins. So this is a boy and a girl. They're twins. They're twins. They're twins, and they end up getting thrown into Sutton Asylum after murdering their parents. They murdered their parents because the parents did things to them, and the parents didn't like them being together, but they had also violated them, or at least the dad had. And so they go to this asylum. They become king and queen of this asylum, and they rule the asylum. There's things that happen because of that. They're crazy. Like they are crazy because we're in their heads and we hear it. The kids were they really were crazy, and the thoughts in their head were crazy. So I liked, and there was a lot of smut, brother sister smut, and crazy smut. It wasn't that it was bad. It was just it was just too much. I think it was just too much was what it was. Now, I want to read the next book that's going to come out because it's about their friend who is with them. And it's a different story. It's a captive one. So I want to read that. But this one was too much for me. I don't know. So right now it's sitting at a 3. I'm just not sure. I'm very confused because I did like the story, but there were times when I was like, no, you know. So it was very violent.
Okay.
Which doesn't normally bother me. It was just, I don't know. Read it, guys. Tell me what you think. I don't know.
Or don't.
Or don't. It's all good. So.
All right. My turn.
Hey.
Sorry, I was a little bit faster on the click than I meant to be. So my next book is called All I Want for Christmas is My Sister's Boyfriend. And this is by Brooke Blaine and Ella Frank. So Miles is out shopping with his friend Holly. Another Christmas name there. And Holly is his best friend. And they're out shopping. And he gets bumped into by this really good looking guy that sends him kind of in this display. And he's a little bit like caught up in the moment of this dude's hotness, I guess. And him and Holly then go, continue their shopping, and he sits on Santa's lap because Holly wants to go see Santa. They're adults, and they do it just kind of like for fun, And he asks Santa to bring him, a boyfriend. Well, we fast forward, and they're at a party, and he runs into the guy there. And things, they exchange names and stuff and go from there. And then the next day he's at his house for Christmas. And the guy that he was swooning over and talked to at the party is his sister's boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you give it?
I gave it 4 stars.
Oh, okay. So you liked it.
I did enjoy it.
Okay.
It went in a little, I don't want to give anything away. It went in a little different direction than what I thought it was going to go, but I really enjoyed it. It was a fun, I listened to it. It's not super long. And so it was just another fun Christmas story.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Okay. So I read a Christmas one as well. Apparently we want to get you guys all in the spirit for Christmas here. So I read The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny, and this is by Willa Nash, which is Devaney Perry's other pen name. So it's by Devaney Perry. So this is about Maddox and Natalie. So Natalie has lived in this little town her whole life, and she's nannying. That's her job, and she's just finished nannying for another family when she gets a call from the agency saying that they need somebody right away for someone who only needs a nanny for a week. There's a single dad who's visiting, needs a nanny for a week, and he can't keep a nanny around apparently, and his other one has quit. And the reason why is because his daughter, I think she's like 8. You remember the movie Problem Child with John Ritter? This kid, you would give that kid a run for their money. So Natalie goes to the house. She hasn't done anything to herself because she was supposed to be on her day off, but he needs her right away. So she gets there, and the person who answered the door is Maddox. And he was a few years older than her in high school, but it is the guy that she had a crush on forever. And she is his nanny for the week. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It just wasn't very Christmassy. Like, we know it's on Christmas break that is taking place, and there's like a party in there, but that was it as far as Christmassy. So it wasn't very Christmassy. There's 3 books in the series. I want to read the other ones too, just to read them. But yeah, I do like Daphne Perry. So, or Willow.
I have those on my TBR. I didn't realize that was for their pen name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
So.
Okay, so my next and my last book, because I was like, oh, I'm ready to get out of the Christmas spirit, and I really needed to read our Buddy Read book.
Yes.
Here With Me by Brooke Montgomery. Here With Me by Brooke Montgomery. This was a solid 4-star read. I really, really enjoyed this. It's a little bit longer, but it was really good. So this is about Fisher and Noah. Sorry, I forgot her name for half a second. So Noah is the girl. I really wish authors wouldn't do that because it just screws with my brain. Like, I just feel like Noah is more of a boy's name. But anyways, I got over it. So Fisher is older than Noah by double her age, I believe. I think he's 44 and she's only 22. So when they meet at a rodeo and they have an amazing time together. And that is when Noah learns that Fisher is her ex-boyfriend's dad, that she is still very, very good friends with.
Mm-hmm.
And then turns out Fisher's also just been hired to work at their farm.
Their family ranch where she works.
Yes.
It was good.
So, it was very good. If you are looking for more of the angsty taboo aspect, this is not going to be in this book, but it is incredibly good still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. It was a solid 4-star, on the higher end.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I liked it a lot too. Okay, so I continued on with Aliens. I know you love it when I do that, Mandy. So I read the second book in Zoe Draven's Horde King series. This is claimed by the Horde King. So this one is about Nell. She's caught in the very beginning of this book hunting, and that is a huge no-no on this planet. And so the Horde King shows up with his horde at her village, and her punishment, she thinks they're going to kill her, but her punishment is to actually be whipped, and she's supposed to get 5 lashes, I think. And as the Horde King starts to whip her in the back, when he gets the 3rd strike, I think it is, there's a lightning strike, and he realizes that this is actually his mate and he has to stop. Then he decides to take her with him because, again, it's his mate. And the grovel is real with this one. All throughout the book, he has to grovel for several things, but takes her with him so that she doesn't get infected in the whole thing. Plus, it's his girl. And so this is their story. This one isn't as clear as, oh my gosh, you're going to be my queen, as the first one, because this guy became a Horde King when nobody thought he would. He has something to prove. He has to put the Horde first, and so he can't take a human mate. So there's a little bit more angst in this one as to why that is. So again, these ones I love. These are all 5 stars for me. I love these books. I reread them all the time. Okay. Next. Oh, mine. Still my turn. Okay. So the next book I read is called Hypnotized. I have it right here. It's by E.J. Lawson. I just got this book in this week. These are special edition copies, but this is the second book in a series, but they're standalone series, and these are all in an Omegaverse situation. So this is about our heroine. She is promised to a group of alphas that live in Alaska. She's never met them, but she goes to this academy, and from there she's promised to them. And so they're very wealthy and influential. And so she's flown to Anchorage, and now she has to get on a different plane and go from Anchorage to another town. When that happens, the plane crashes. And she is rescued. She's the only survivor that she can tell. She doesn't see anybody else. She's rescued, and she's rescued by 3 alphas who live in the Alaskan wilderness. And things happen from there. I really like this one. It was a solid 4 stars. And yeah, I liked it. Okay. So the last book I read this week is Finn by BJ Alpha. This is her 3rd book in her Secrets and Lies series. Oh my gosh. this book is the reason why I started reading BJ Alpha, because everybody had talked about Finn as like the ultimate. So this is an Irish mafia. And Finn he was with a girl for years. Her name was Angel. And she upped and left when he went off 9 years before. He went into the military and she disappeared. And he hasn't seen her since. And they were like friends when they were little, and they've always been together. Well, now we're, 9 years later, he's home, he's working the mafia with his brothers, and he gets a call that he thinks is like a mistake phone call. And it is a hospital in a neighboring state telling them that they have a girl named Chelsea there, and he is her next of kin. He's listed as her next of kin, and he needs to get there. And he thinks it's a prank. He doesn't listen. He hangs up on him at first, and then he ends up going, and lo and behold, it's Angel in this hospital bed. She's completely changed her looks. She is on the run, and he doesn't know what from. So this was a 5-star read for me. I loved this book. Loved it. So, all right. So that was my week. That was your week. So those are what we have. Those are what we have for the week.
All right, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure you're following us on Instagram. And then in the comments, we had a lot of Christmas reads this week. So in those comments, tell us, do you enjoy a Christmas read? And what kind of Christmas reads? Do you like to listen to them on Audible, like the Audible shorts like I do? Do you like a full-length Christmas book? Tell us what type of Christmas books you like, if you like them. And if you don't, tell us that too. We want to hear from you. And then make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And then on Wednesdays through the rest of this year for our Romance School 101.
Yay. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.